Can you hear me now, Roski? I'll be doing that. No, no audio. I'll be hell. Can you hear me now? Yes, sir. Do you park in the house? So let me just get rid of this. So I just got to set. I'm just setting up my YouTube. So just bear with me, guys. The billing club's back. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Right. So you guys are in for a treat today. I'll tell you. We're gonna do a real session. Right. None of this. I think prices go in here bullshit. Right. You guys are gonna get a lesson, a proper lesson. Right. This is how we do it inside. This is how we do it inside Red Pill. Right. No BS. No BS. Okay. So let's give 1 second. Right. Can hit. I like how direct you are, Scott. I mean, there's no fluff in your wordage, mate. Can hit. we got Caveman Scott in the house. Caveman Scott is in the house. We've got Dew Park. Let's wait to see if anyone else wants to filter in. If not, this is a very can you hear me now, Roski? Close knit little community we're gonna have today. Doing that. No audio. I mean, hell. We can hear you. Okay, that's cool. We can now. Sorry, sir. We can or can't. Now you're confused. Yes, sir. I hope you can hear. Do you park in the house? So let me. We can hear. Let me just get rid of this. So I just got to set. I'm just setting up my YouTube. So just bear with me, guys. The billing club's back. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Right. So all right. You guys are in for a treat today. I'll tell you. We're gonna do a real session. Right. None of this. I think prices go in here bullshit. Right, you guys are going to. So yeah, what an interesting day we've had today. What an interesting day we have had today. Right, this is how we do it. Is everyone back? Does everyone take any nice trades? Right, no BS. No BS. Okay. I did take a couple of nice entries. I took this out of 42 and rode it up to here. Right, so back up to the 830 price, and then I took an entry in 1 second and rode it up to the 15-minute volume imbalance. There were my trades today. 20 handles, bish bash bosh, thank you very much. But today I'm going to do a session for you guys on Judah swings from the Asian session to London session. I like how direct day, but I just want to clarify there's no fluff in your wordage, mate. YouTube took the video down because I had music playing in the background, so painful, right? we got Caveman Scott in the house. Caveman Scott is in. It will build on your knowledge on what a Judah swing is and how to apply that to take trades, right? No BS. This is pure technical analysis for you guys to take forward, right? And take into your own trades, because it's exactly how I took a trade in the AM session. So my New York session trades were here. Close knit. My AM session trades were here. And if you check on my Twitter, you'll see the trades that I took. Hell, all right. We can hear you. So just double check that you guys can hear me on the channel. Can't. Someone can just put do you park in the house? So let me just get rid of this. You can slap an old like on the video as well. Just bear with me, guys. The billing club's back. Yeah, boy. How about that? Is that better? Is that better? Or is that better? Is that better? Yes, sir. Is that better? YouTube, I found it's a bit of a faff with OBS because you have like different audio mixers and you have to mess around with them. But does that sound better for you guys? Is it coming out of one mic now? No echo or no? There's echo. Okay, cool, good stuff. I love how polite you guys are on YouTube, just sat there listening to me in echo. Was looping before. Nightmare. Okay, cool. So I guess I'll start again, right? So yeah, I mean, my trades in the New York session, I got in here 4100 whole site number, and there's a couple of reasons for this, right? And I want to break it down because I want to be absolutely clear as into why my bias was like this, and give you an indication of what I understand the market will be doing at this point in time. And obviously, this is all subject to potential change depending on what price delivers. But my bias going into today was this: in Europe, we have today has been a bank holiday, right? So in America, you have Friday. Today it's Monday. We have bank holidays here in Europe. So I didn't believe price was going to take the low, and from everyone inside Red Pill knew that this was my range going into today, right? This high and this low. So this was the dealing range that we were working inside of, right? We were working inside that dealing range. If you just think practically for a minute, right? The bankers in Europe are not going to be wanting to be left on the sidelines, right? If price is going to make a big move, right? They're not, so the market makers are unlikely to drive price down into a deeper discount and leave half of the banks of the global economy out of it, right? Because they're not in the office. You know, they're in Saint-Tropez or doing something whack, right? There's been a 4-day holiday in Europe, right? The chances that price was going to break this low were very, very slim, right? Very, very slim indeed, okay? And this capped my dealing range for this, right? Simply on the basis that in Europe, we had a bank holiday. And we started the day up here inside of a premium, right? So if we go back to the London, we were in a premium of this displacement leg. So we had this low to the high on the hourly, and we were inside a premium going into today's session. Now, my macro is massively bearish until, and I'm not going to have it where someone's trying to railroad what I'm trying to say, right? So I'm putting it on YouTube. Until price breaks above this line, I am macro bearish. And the reason being is that I believe Tuesday to be the yearly high, right? Because we've moved into a new quarter. That is the start of the new quarter. And the distribution phase usually takes place in April. But I have a macro view that the data that keeps getting pumped, there's going to be which is negative, this inverse reaction that we've been having recently where bad news is seen as good news for the market in terms of rallying. At some point that's going to crack. And this is a huge week this week in terms of news, right? We're running into the second week of April, and May is usually the distribution phase. I personally believe that price might run early, so we might break before we head into May. And with that being said, this is why I potentially believe this Tuesday to be the high of the year. If we throw in the fact that we came out of this huge period of consolidation and we went into a distribution phase, right? This was market makers selling their positions that they accumulated here, right? And we got to a 3-time standard deviation on a price leg, right? This is extended. This is extended. So the argument for price to move higher gets weaker and weaker the longer that we move into April. And this week is a huge week for data. And what I'm looking for, and so I'm not saying price is going to head down from here. I'm saying I believe that this is going to be the high of the year unless we break this level here, right? And so what I'm looking for this week is for the data to show a level which is bad, right? Historically bad, i.e. whether it's CPI or whether it's the unemployment figures to be low, and the market reacts badly to it. And that will be your first indication that the recession has started. Because up until this point, every time there's been bad news, it's been seen as good news for the market, right? Because it's been shown as the Fed getting on control of inflation. The problem is inflation isn't coming down and the numbers keep getting printed as bad. So there's going to be a point when the market snaps, businesses can't keep up with it, and we head south, right? I'm waiting for that day to happen. And so we have a huge week this week. And so I'm seeing us hold in this accumulation, right? This is all accumulation. This piece of price action which happened on Thursday and Friday, for me this was manipulation. And the reason why it didn't crack through today is because it was bank holiday in Europe. So prices just kept us within inside this dealing range. But we do have huge, huge news coming up this week, right? So I'll be interested to see how this level of BPR is respected. If we break through this and hold above it, then yes, there's every chance we might go and run the buy side. But until there's some valid data and some valid price action that gets us above here, for me, I am definitely 100% bearish. And so leading into today's price action, the very fact that on Monday, this was actually Sunday's price action, we ran into this BPR, and those guys who were in red pill knew that I had these levels drawn out before Sunday actually happened, but that's irrelevant. Price ran into this BPR, right? Ran into that BPR on Sunday. So during this week and Monday, with it being bank holiday, the only direction I saw price running to was a discount of this range. There was no chance it was going up here because I'm macro bearish, and also we're inside a bank holiday, so this was the dealing range that I was working within. So if we're inside a dealing range and we're inside a premium, where is price going? Who can tell me where's price going? Someone drop in the chat. Where's price going? If it's not going to take a dealing range high and we're stuck in a premium, where's it going? Anyone? Discount, IRE, my guy, right? So price is up here in a premium, there's only one direction it's going, and that is running down into a discount, all right? So my bias today, and I'm a Europe boy, so I can get to trade the Asian session, I was looking for bearish setups, right, to run the market lower into a discount. Does that make sense so far in terms of how I form my bias? That's my directional bias, right? That is how I form my directional bias, right? Now, if we break this down, actually so that's my macro viewpoint, but if we actually look at where price was sat, so we were around here, right? So this is the midnight open price, and you can see price is running high. What do we know about a Judas swing in the general sense? If we are bearish, we're expecting price to get back above the midnight open price, and that is considered a discount, right? So if you guys are not familiar with that, note it down. If you're expecting bearish price, if price is above the midnight, right, that is a discount for you to run the price lower, right? And I'll show you how to take the trade setup in a minute, but this is just again framing context. And what did we run into? We were running into a short-term premium, right? So rebalancing this displacement leg on the hourly. So I was always macro bearish to run price into a discount, but we had to get into a short-term premium before we could run price down, right? And so I was looking for this price leg to get rebalanced. And so what are we looking for? We're looking for anywhere at equilibrium is then considered fair value, right? Now, that's the higher time frame sorted. Now we're actually going to look and break down a strategy for you, okay? And this is a strategy that you guys can start implementing in your own trades, all right? And this is no BS, no fluff, no, I think it's going here, I think it's not going there. I top tick this, and you can ask anyone in Red Pill whether I did or I didn't, right? This is no BS entry, and it's the same every single time, all right? What you're looking for, and this is the truest sense of how I trade a Judas swing between the Asian session and the London session, all right? So what you guys are getting here is pure gold, all right? What I'm looking to do, and you have these lines here, these different colors, they indicate the different kill zones, okay? These indicate the different kill zones, and this red is the Asian session kill zone, all right? What I'm looking to do is take the high to the low of the Asian session range, right? This is where you start taking notes, guys, all right? And for those of you who have just subbed into Red Pill, welcome. It's going to be a fantastic week, so good to have you on board. But this Asian session range, right, the high to the low is what I'm looking at, okay? This is then what I'm looking for, price to purge the sell side of the Asian session range, right? You guys with me so far? So we have the Asian session high-low, and I'm looking for price to purge the sell side of the Asian session range. No BS, this is facts, right? I'm then looking for a Judas swing. This is your Judas swing, right? this is your Judas swing. Okay, so what is happening here, this is trapping people into believing the market's dumping. Then they throw it up higher, manipulation, before distribution, right? That is my London session Judas swing coming out of an Asian session. And the opposite is true as if you're bullish. So we had an example and we actually took this trade last week. So if you go back through your charts last week, you'll see a bullish example of this. But the opposite is true. So if you're bullish, you'd be looking for price to purge the Asian session high. I keep picking up the wrong thing. Right? You'd be looking for price to purge the Asian session high, move back down, and give you a Judas swing, right? Then you're looking to go long. Now, this is where it gets cute, because anything, this is your Judas swing, right? So after you've had the purge of the Asia's low, this is your Judas swing. Anything, and I know my chart looks like a bag of Skittles now, so I apologise, but anything above midnight open price is your discount. This is the best entry you can get on the day if you're bearish, especially if you have a target entry that you're aiming for, right? And I did. And you can jump on my Twitter. I think I posted on Twitter. If not, it's inside Red Pill. I got in here. I literally top ticked this range, right? And why did I get that? Well, firstly, because this is my setup. So this is my Judas swing from Asia to London session, right? If I'm bearish. But secondly, I'm looking at this price action. And if we jump onto the 5 minute, right? We jump onto the 5 minute. Ooh. And we take this range. What was it delivering at this level for a start? Right? What was it? What was that level? Right? What was that level? So that level is equilibrium, right? And we know that if we are looking to take price lower, we only need price to get into equilibrium for it to be considered fair value, right? Now, if price is incredibly heavy, what is it likely to not get above? And I know the Red Pill guys will know the answer to this. If price is extremely heavy, what is it likely not to get above? Anybody? I know there's a lag on YouTube, so I'll hold out for a bit. Equilibrium, Scott. Boom. Okay, so that is already giving you reasons as to why I'm going short here, right? Then we also had this SIBI on the 5 minute, right? Inside of a premium. So this for me was my line in the sand. All right, was my line in the sand. If price got back above this, it's likely it was going to run the high and then into this SIBI, and I would have got back in here. All right, so if it had taken me out for a stop for two handles, I would have let it run me out and then get back in here. Okay, inside this OT zone, but I was expecting price to be heavy, so I got in here. I top ticked it. All right. And so that is your entry to then run the market lower. To run the market where, I hear you ask. Right? It's a valid question. If price has swept the buy side, in which it has here, and it's fulfilled its objective in a PD array inside a premium of a displacement leg, and it's running down into a discount, what is it searching for? I know the Red Pill guys will know this. What is it searching for? What's it searching for? The nearest what? Breaker. Irene. Irene in the house today. Right? So, price ran down to what? Nearest breaker. Where's our breaker? Our breaker is here, right? Low, high, low, sweeping the low, retest. This is now a validated breaker, all right? And you can see how price ran down to that breaker. This would have been a first place where you take partials at this breaker, right? If you wanted to be really cautious, you could have taken equilibrium of this rejection block, right? But ultimately, price ran down all the way to this volume imbalance initially, but then ultimately all the way down to the whole site number of 4,100, all right? And then we saw price rally back up, all right? Rally back up inside of this dealing range, okay? Back inside this dealing range. This price is not doing anything for the rest of the day, so that's why I've jumped on YouTube. The price has fulfilled its objective today, all right? It's a bank holiday. It started here, it's run down to 4,100 and it's ran back up. Price is going nowhere for the rest of the day. So if you want my advice, do nothing and do not trade again for the remainder of today. Today is done, all right? Come back tomorrow. So that is, that's going to cover this little mini session for you guys. That is my Asian session Judas swing going into the London session when framing a bearish setup, all right? Let me just see if I can pick out the... Yeah. I mean, this is, just another example. I mean, this one didn't even want to give you this didn't even want to give you, a decent Judas swing, right? Normally, you get a Judas swing that will take you up above, at least you'll go and purge some buy side before it dumps. But you can see the same premise here, right? You have the Asian range. This is when you're bearish. It purges the Asian sessions low. Price runs up and gives you this Judas swing. That is your Judas swing right there. And it goes above the midnight open price. Anything above midnight open price is considered a discount. And that is your high of the day, right? This, if you can get in here, these are amazing, amazing entries, right? Really high risk, low probability. And you can see how price ultimately just, completely died for the remainder of the session, right? So that you can just go, I'd suggest you go back and back test that. I trade it a lot, especially obviously in Asia and London session, but you can adopt that in other methods as well. So guys, I hope you found that useful. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in there. I'm just going to head to the toilet, but if you've got any questions, drop them in the chat and I'll try and answer some. Yeah, so I mean, just to answer sort of Joe's question, I mean, just going into sort of the coming weeks. Obviously, I'm not going to be trading this. The Asian session will give you an indication of what price is going to do. Personally, I can see it coming back into this sort of BPR on the hourly. Fall back into this range ahead of data. As we know, ahead of big news, market makers tend to like to put you in no man's land, right? So you don't have a very clear indication of where price is heading. So I imagine price will draw us back down into this BPR and hold us there for data. And they've left both of these open, right? Left both of these open. My personal bias is bearish. I have said this figure here. So whether we whip up and run into this order block on the this green candle here on the hourly, this order block, whether it whips into that empty of that before low, because that will take us into a premium of this range here. I can see that happening, but if it runs above that and holds, then I will move to the sidelines. But also, if you look at sort of the Dixie on price action, the price action on Dixie, it's pulled us back into this range, right? It's pulled us back into this range. So I'll be keeping a close eye on Dixie to see which direction that wants to head, because that will be interesting in terms of how that impacts ES moving into this week's trading. But it seems like they are correlated again, right? Every day, 8:30 till pretty much close, Joe. I usually start at 8:30, then I'll cover the open until about 11:30. None of us trade lunch. We don't trade lunch inside Red Pill, and then we trade the PM session. And if there's any relevant price action, we'll be trading it. We'll be live. And then we teach, and then we have live sessions inside Red Pill. We have live teaching sessions. So my boy Perez is an absolute elite trader in his own right. Fantastic trader. He does live teaching sessions every 2 weeks. We've got one coming up on Thursday. All of those sessions are recorded. We have leaderboards that you can challenge each other and have friendly fun. We have psychology channels, books, thousands of dollars worth of books. It's an amazing place to be. We have Red Pill Foundation, where we sponsor children in impoverished nations. So a percentage of every subscription goes towards Red Pill Foundation, and we've already sponsored our first child. Her name's called Eulalia, from Guatemala, and she is now part of the Red Pill family. So we're looking to build on that. We're looking to sponsor a veterans charity this month, sorry. Because we have a lot of war vets inside Red Pill, which is awesome, and so we want to pay a nod to that and respect those who have fought on our behalf in whatever capacity that is. And so we're going to look to donate towards an army-related charity this month. What's Fluxing code? Good man, Fluxy. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can show you this. So this is brilliant. Fluxy the man. I don't think I can. I don't think I can show you this. I can only show it inside Red Pill, but. It's basically a meme that is Red Pill related. Okay, is there any specific questions that anyone would like to ask? Anything about Red Pill in relation, or anything in terms of today's price action that you'd like me to break down? So instead of doing a live recap today, I decided to jump on YouTube and give it to you guys live, right? So I can I've broken down essentially my thoughts going into today, what I was looking at, the reasons why I took my entries. But if you have any specific questions, or you'd like me to go over anything in specific, please do let me know, and we'll cover that. Real Steel Hammer. I've been trading for 6 years, brother. How long has it taken you to get profitable? It took me about 18 months. 2 years, maybe. Biggest thing I can teach, the biggest thing I can tell any trader who's struggling at the moment is just have patience. I think that's the number one thing, and it's so overlooked. I know a lot of people, he's going on about patience again. Patience, right? Screw you and your patience, boy. But it's so true. Like we do this, we have a thing inside Red Pill, but like the best form of trader, and take this as you will. But the best traders are the ones who can see a trade and not trade it. And so I try and push as many people inside Red Pill to do that. See a trade and not take it. I know exactly where the trade is going, and I do not take it. That is the ultimate level of discipline. Because we're not interested in 5 handles inside Red Pill, right? That's not what we're about, right? We're not retail. We take ranges. Okay, and we're looking for at least 10 to 15 handles, and if price is showing that we need to be paying the trader at 5 handles, then we'll take 5 handles. But we are certainly not taking a trade based off of 5 handles. Right? So all of this, I have absolutely no interest whatsoever trading it. Zilch. Nada. De nada. Why, I hear you ask? Because we have already fulfilled the day's objectives. Right? The day's objective was to run down to 4100. The PM session, that was the London session by the way, the New York session was to run it all the way back up. Right? Because this is basically just a scratch day. It's a bank holiday. So price for the remainder of this session ain't going anywhere. It ain't going anywhere. So we haven't been doing anything inside Red Pill since price got back up to what? And I called this out before, I called this out at pretty much at the New York Open where price was going to go back to. And it was this London session low, right? Where has price got back to? London session low, Asian session low, midnight open price. It's not random, right? It's not random. So price has fulfilled its objective. It's basically ending where it started the day, which is what you'd expect on a bank holiday, right? Ahead of big data. So I have absolutely no interest trading because the range is tiny. There is no range, right? And I only take trades unless there's at least 15 handles, 10 to 15 handles, minimum. And there isn't 10 to 15 handles for me in the rest of the day. So guess what? I'm not trading for the rest of the day. My trading is done. I took 20 handles. I think it was 21 and a half. And that's enough. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up here on the old tubage. I hope you found that little session on Judas Swings helpful. If you do decide to walk through the door to Red Pill, then I look forward to welcoming you on the other side. But until next time, if you don't, I look forward to catching you up on random Twitter chats and or in my YouTube recaps. So as for now, take care, trade safe, trade smart. Until next time, I'll see you on the other side. Take care, guys.